Yeah. The city does something different when the temperature drops and the lights come up. Every block got a frequency that the daytime version of it doesn't touch. The DMV at night is its own particular language, and I'm fluent. I grew up in the specific rhythm that makes every step feel congruent, with a bass line running underneath the avenue's architecture. The go-go undercurrent in my chest is the original infrastructure that the city labeled for the algorithms confirm what we already knew, that this particular mid-Atlantic soul has a sound the rest is catching up to. I walk through the district after dark like the district and I are in agreement about pace, about posture, about the exact temperature of the evening. The roads is warm under everything, the way the neighborhood is warm under the late night confidence of someone who was raised inside this form. District, the city and I in agreement. District, the baseline and the go-go underneath. District, the DMV at night has its own particular grammar. District, the bass sits forward and the roads provides the anchor. The go-go rhythm underneath the late night avenue. District, the mid-Atlantic soul is the language that I grew into. District, the city after dark. District, the frequency, the fluency. District, yeah. There's a specific pride that comes from a city that's been underestimated for long enough that the underestimation became part of the calibrated confidence of every person who grew up in this particular frequency. Here we don't announce the sound, we just move in it with the necessary ease of someone who's been in it since before the playlist gave it a name. The go-go undercurrent predates the genre tag by decades of the same block level frequency that Duke Ellington laid down and Marvin Gaye confirmed, and every generation since has carried without needing it to be affirmed by anyone outside the district. The affirmation was always internal. The road, the night, the bass forward, the go-go rhythm eternal. District at night means I know what I am, and the city knows with me. That's the specific confidence of the mid-Atlantic soul in the DMV. District, the city and the baseline always knew together. District, the road go undercurrent, whatever weather. The external confirmation was never the requirement. District, the internal frequency was always the environment. District, after dark, the city and I. District, always knew, always this. The avenue at night, the bass forward, the roads warm, the go-go underneath. The city and I in agreement since before the playlist, since before the affirmation. District, always mine. District, the frequency. District, after dark. District, the go-go, the roads, the bass. District, always this. The candle on the dress has been burning for approximately the right amount of time. The room has reached a temperature where everything slows down and aligns with the bass pulse underneath that isn't asking for anything more than presence. Your presence specifically in this particular room at this particular essence of the evening, past the conversation and the dinner and the city noise, down to the frequency that only exists when two people make a choice. to be in the same room with the same candle and the same particular quiet. The sparse rose notes sustains into the space between us without a riot. No sound, just the note and the bass pulse and the candlelight deciding what the room becomes when the night is this specific and this confiding. Of his warmth to two people who chose to be inside it at this temperature. The whispered vocal over the minimal production is the right signature. Candlelit, the room reached the right temperature. Candlelit, the bass pulse and the sparse. Candlelit, the minimal production is the right one for this hour. Candlelit, the whispered vocal in the candle and the power of the quiet that exists when both of you have stopped performing. Candlelit, the bass pulse underneath this particular morning's adjacent evening, the night becoming something more specific. Candlelit, the room, the candle, the temperature. Candlelit, right here, right now. I've been thinking about what it means to want someone's specific presence in a room that's already warm, not their performance, just the essence of the actual person who exists when no one's watching and the night is candlelit. The sparse road sustains into the question I haven't asked or branded yet, but the room is asking it, and the bass pulse is confirming the direction. And the barely there snare brush in the background is the gentle suggestion that the pace is right, and the temperature is right, and the room is right. And the only question left is whether you feel this particular Friday night the same way I feel it at this minimal production level of the feeling, where the candle does the talking and the bass pulse does the revealing of what's beneath the conversation and the dinner and the city's noise. The candlelit room and the bass pulse, both asking for the same choice. Candlelit, both asking for the same choice in the same room. Candlelit, the bass pulse and the road sustaining through the gloom of everything that isn't this particular Friday night specific frequency. Candlelit, the minimal production holds the feeling with the adequacy. The candle, the bass pulse, the choice. Candlelit, the room, both here, the choice. The candle deciding, the bass pulse confirming, the sparse roads no sustaining into the question. The room reaching the temperature where the question answers itself. Candlelit, both here, the room deciding for us. Candlelit, the bass pulse. Candlelit, the room. Candlelit, the choice. Candlelit, right here, both here. Candlelit, candlelit. Move through the city like the city already cleared my path for me. Every room I walk into does the thing where the room adjusts naturally, not loud about it. That's the DMV etiquette, the understated arrival, the confidence that doesn't need the announcement for its survival. The go-go in the Wasteland is the mid-Atlantic confirmation that the way I carry myself has a regional foundation that predates the current moment and will outlast the current trend. The rolling hi-hat pattern says this is how the DMV transcends the moment with the same unhurries at every temperature that the block taught me before the industry gave it a nomenclature. Easy money means the work was done when nobody was watching. Now the room adjusts because the foundation is already locked in. Easy money, the DMV etiquette of the understated arrival. Easy money, the go in the baseline, confirming the credentials. Easy money. The room adjusts without the announcement. Easy money. The rolling hi-hat in the bass, the pronouncement. A presence that was earned in the rooms no one photographed. Easy money. The DMV cadence and the melodic flow, the craft of making it look effortless, because the work was done already. Easy money. The foundation already locked. Easy money. I don't explain the confidence, because the confidence explains itself. Every room has a version of it, and mine is doing well for itself. The analog synth melody underneath says something about the texture of the mid-Atlantic soul that lives in how I move through every sector of the city, the blocks I came from, and the rooms I'm arriving in. Both confirm the same frequency that the DMV has always been living in. The go-go DNA in the production is the historical receipt that says this region knew what it was before the algorithms beat. Confirmed it for the wider audience, we were always this assured. The easy money posture is just the confidence that the district stored, and every generation that grew up inside this particular frequency. Easy money. The DMV etiquette to knowing exactly. Easy money. Knowing exactly, no announcement required. Easy money. The rolling hi-hat, the go-go DNA, the inspired confidence that came from the block and moved into the room. Easy money. The mid-Atlantic soul moving at its own assumed correct pace. Easy money. The foundation, the frequency, the district. Easy money, always this. The block that made me, the room I'm in now, the same frequency, different address. The go-go underneath, confirming both. Easy money. The work done in the quiet, the room adjusted accordingly. Easy money. The district always knew. Easy money. Easy money. The rolling hi-hat. Easy money. Easy money. The go-go DNA. Easy money. The foundation. Easy money. Already locked, still here. Always this.
I've been letting myself be soft in a way I haven't allowed in a while. The neo-soul rose underneath gives permission to the vulnerable style of existing without the armor I've been wearing through the city's weather. The live bass breathes beneath everything and holds it all together without requiring me to hold it. That's the thing about the right production. It creates the space for the unedited version without obstruction. The brush drum kit, organic and unhurried, says there's no emergency. Take the time that the feeling requires at this particular frequency. I've been strong in the DMV way, the way that doesn't announce the carrying of everything, just moves through it with the practice mid-Atlantic barren. But tonight the gospel rose is asking me to put the practice down and just be in the soft girl era of myself without requiring a sound. Soft girl era, the neo-soul road giving permission. Soft girl era, the vulnerable and the strong in the same mission. Soft girl era, the live bass breathing underneath the open. Soft girl era, the gospel roads and the organic drum, the chosen. Soft girl, space for the unedited version of the feeling to exist. Soft girl era, the DMV warmth and the neo-soul twist of being strong enough to be soft. Soft girl era, the roads, the live bass, the permission. The soft girl era is not the absence of the strength, it's the expression of the strength that doesn't require the armor as its only confession. I can be the mid-Atlantic soul and the vulnerable in the same breath. The gospel road's voicing says both are the same underneath the depth of the feeling. The strong and the soft are the same person at different moments of the same evening, in the same body with the same permanent foundation of the DMV warmth that the live bass confirms is present. Whether I'm in the armor or in the soft girl era at this particular crescent of the night, when the neo-soul band is breathing and the road is warm and the brush drum kit is organic and unhurried, and the form of the music creates the space for all the versions of me at once. Soft girl era, the neo-soul production holding them all with confidence. Soft girl era, all versions present in the same neo-soul room. Soft girl era, the live bass and the gospel roads making room for the soft and the strong in the DMV warmth simultaneously. Soft girl era, the organic drum kit breathing, holding me in the space where both are true. Soft girl era, the roads both true, both me. The armor down, the roads warm, the live bass breathing, the soft and the strong, both present, both the same person. The DMV warmth holding all of it. Soft girl era, both true, both mine. The roads confirms it, both mine. Soft girl era, the neo-soul band. Soft girl era, the roads warm. Soft girl era, both true. Soft girl era, still strong, still soft. Both.
The reverb on the guitar says something about the space between us that the regular conversation doesn't have the resolution to address. I've been operating in the shadowy lane of the DMV at night, where everything is desire and vulnerability, and neither one is right or wrong. They just coexist in the same late night frequency. But barely their hi-hat keeps the tempo at the correct leniency of pace, not rushing toward the thing and not retreating from it. Just the hypnotic loop and the deep bass and the cinematic summit, or whatever this particular evening is becoming in slow motion. The nocturnal minimalist is the right production for this ocean of unspoken things between two people in the late night DMV tension, where the falsetto whisper is more honest than the full voice confession. Nocturnal, the shadowy production and unspoken thing. Nocturnal, the falsetto whisper over the hypnotic loop. Nocturnal, the reverb guitar saying what the words can't reach. Nocturnal, the deep bass undercurrent in the belly, their hi-hat speech. Nocturnal, the desire and the vulnerability on the same frequency. Nocturnal, the DMV bedroom soul at its darkest and most free from the daytime armor. Nocturnal, the shadowy, the slow burn, nocturnal. I wanna tell you something in the specific register of this production. The falsetto whisper is the only vocal setting with the right construction. For the thing I mean, not the full voice, not the projected statement, just the close mic honesty of 3 a.m. and its particular arrangement of
for the truth. The shadowy desire that doesn't know its own conclusion. The deep bass undercurrent confirms the feeling without the confusion of the daytime version, where everything requires a clear articulation. The nocturnal DMV gives the feeling the cinematic duration. It deserves the hypnotic loop cycling through the late night question of what this is between us and the reverb guitar suggestion. That the answer lives in the space between the notes, not in the notes. The belly, their hi-hat keeping time while everything else floats. Nocturnal, the answer in the space between the reverb guitar notes. Nocturnal, the deep bass and the falsetto whisper, the slow boat toward whatever this becomes in the late night DMV frequency. Nocturnal, the desire and the vulnerability and the leniency of not knowing yet and being it. Nocturnal, the shadowy, the slow burn still here, the reverb guitar, the unspoken thing, the deep bass, the barely there hi-hat, the 3 a.m. register of the truth. The nocturnal DMV, where the falsetto whisper is the most honest setting for what I mean. Nocturnal, space between the notes, the answer somewhere in there. Nocturnal, nocturnal, reverb guitar. Nocturnal, the deep bass. Nocturnal, the falsetto, the slow burn. Nocturnal, still he's still in it. Nocturnal, nocturnal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey. Hey, hey. Let's say. Some nights the DMV just decides to give you everything at once. The go-go percussion kicking full underneath the bass and the brightness. Other roads cutting through the evening like someone turned the volume up on all the right frequencies simultaneously without warning or setup. The horn stab backs and says, yes, this is the night, this is the specific one that you'll reference later when you're describing what a good night becomes. In the memory, this exact temperature of the city doing its celebratory thing. The live go-go percussion and the joyful soul vocal in the spring of energy that the DMV stores in this particular musical tradition. And releases on the nights when everything aligns in the right position. Uptown tonight means the city is in the mood to give back everything it's taken in the form of the go-go rhythm and the joy the evening's bringing. Tonight was the one. Uptown, the go-go percussion and the roads at full joy. Uptown, the go-go kicking full and the bass sitting right. Uptown, the horn stab accent on the best possible Friday night. Uptown, the DMV in the mood to celebrate its own frequency. Uptown, the joyful soul vocal over everything. The city free to be itself completely. Uptown, the go-go, the roads, the horn. Uptown, the good night. This one, I wanna stay in this frequency for as long as the city will let me. The go-go percussion and the bright roads in the evening. Already decided it was gonna be the kind that carries over into the story of what the DMV sounds like when it's running at full glory. The horn stab comes in at exactly the moment the body needed it. The bass punches through and the joyful vocal confirms we're in it. For the whole duration of the good night, no reservations, no exit. The live go-go percussion is the original heartbeat underneath the district. The Ellington heard and Marvin felt in every generation after
Hotel lobby. Yeah. Hotel lobby. At 11:30 in the room is doing what hotel lobbies do, which is hold a collection of people who are all on their way to something new or coming back from something. And the energy is the specific one, transition. I sit in the corner chair doing the observation without the ambition of involving myself in any particular trajectory tonight. Just a clean electric guitar and the cool bass groove and the light of the lobby doing its ambient thing while I watch the room decide what it is. The late arrivals, the early departures, the dignified passing through people who know where they're going next. Snap percussion keeps the time without demanding the context of a rush. The space between the bass notes is where the story lives. In the hotel lobby at 11:30 and all the in-between it gives. Hotel lobby. The observer in the corner chair. Hotel lobby. Space between the bass notes holding everything. Hotel lobby. The clean guitar and the cool groove at the corner table. Hotel lobby. Sophisticated restraint for someone who is able to watch the room without needing to be in it performing. Hotel lobby. The DMV composure in the late night morning adjacent hour. Hotel lobby. Space. The observer. Hotel lobby. The cool. The corner chair. The detached vocal is the right register for the hotel lobby frequency, where everyone is passing through and the observation comes more freely when you're not attached to any particular outcome of the evening. Just a clean electric guitar and the cool bass groove, believing that the space between the notes contains more than the notes themselves. The DMV composure is exactly this, the confidence that compels. No performance, no announcement, just a settled presence in the corner of someone who's been in enough rooms to know that the right order of things includes observe before engaging, read the room before the entry. And sometimes the observation is the whole evening, the cool inventory of a hotel lobby at 11:30 from the corner chair with the bass groove is its own complete experience, and the clean guitar confirms the mood. Hotel lobby. The cool inventory from the corner chair complete. Hotel lobby. The bass groove with the space between the beat of someone who's been in enough rooms to know the difference. Hotel lobby. The DMV composure and the cinematic distance that makes the observation the whole point. Hotel lobby. Space, the bass groove, the corner still here, observing. Cool. The corner chair. Clean guitar, the bass groove with space, the snap percussion, not rushing anything. The late arrivals, the early departures, the passing through, and me observing. In the DMV composure that doesn't require the performance. Hotel lobby. The space is the point, the space. Hotel lobby. The corner chair. Hotel lobby. Hotel lobby. The bass groove. Hotel lobby. Space. Hotel lobby. Still here. The observer. Cool. Still. Sunday AM and the city is doing its quiet version of itself outside. The acoustic guitar picking over the neo-soul bass on the inside of a morning that earned its particular quality by lasting through the night, with the right person in the right room at the right temperature and light. I've been awake for 20 minutes just listening to the morning sounds. The organic brush snare soft underneath in the city all around, doing its Sunday thing slower, more forgiving of the pace than the Friday and Saturday versions. More allowance for the grace of just being in a room on a Sunday morning without the city's demand for productivity or performance. Just be acoustic guitar in the hand that reached across the sheet at some point between the dark and the dawn, and confirmed that the good night had extended correctly into this warm Sunday AM. The city at its Sunday pace. Sunday AM. The acoustic guitar in the morning light. Sunday AM. The tender morning soul at exactly the right tempo. Sunday AM. The neo soul bass in the acoustic guitar's tempo, matching the Sunday frequency of two people in no particular rush. Sunday AM. The organic brush snare soft underneath the hush of the morning. Sunday AM. The city quiet version. Sunday AM. Earned completely. The morning after a good night in the DMV has its own particular texture that the Sunday AM production captures with the right acoustic lecture of being this. Don't rush through this. The city will be there at noon, and noon will be there eventually. But right now is this particular room at this particular temperature, with the acoustic guitar picking lightly over the neo soul bass and the brush snare keeping time politely at 80 BPM, which is exactly the right pace for a Sunday morning that earned its right to be unhurried by surviving the warning of all the Fridays and Saturdays that didn't have this quality of after. The tender vocal over the warm production is the chapter that only gets written when the night before was actually good. Sunday AM. The DMV soul at its most tender, understood. Sunday AM. The most tender chapter, the earned morning after. Sunday AM. The acoustic guitar and the neo soul bass, the laughter that hasn't happened yet but lives in the potential of the room. Sunday AM. The tender DMV soul and the Sunday AM bloom of the good night. Sunday AM. Tender, earned completely. The Sunday pace, the neo soul bass, breathing. The brush snare soft and unhurried. The room, the morning after. The earth quiet. Sunday AM. Tender, still here, still warm, still in it. Sunday AM. The acoustic guitar. Sunday AM. The tender soul. Sunday AM. Earned Sunday AM. Still warm, still here. Sunday AM.
Yeah.
The liquor store lights at midnight got a particular quality of orange that the DMV puts in every corner block, regardless of the borough or the zip code. The same lights on Georgia Avenue and on Branch Avenue and Oxon Hill and on the Strip in Alexandria, all the same orange hue. That means the city is still running at this hour. The city is still here. The go-go percussion underneath the bass confirms the mid-Atlantic gear. that's been happening on this block since before the current generation was old enough to stand under the liquor store lights with the same patient ease that comes from being raised in the specific frequency of this geography. The smooth melodic vocal carries the block's particular biography. Not as nostalgia, but as documentation of what's still alive and running. At midnight on the corners where the mid-Atlantic soul keeps coming. Liquor store lights, the midnight orange on every block. Liquor store lights, the go-go DNA confirming the address. Liquor store lights, the DMV at the block level. Midnight running. Liquor store lights, the gritty warm bass and the go-go drumming. Ooh, liquor store lights, the same orange on Georgia and on Branch Avenue. Liquor store lights, the mid-Atlantic soul at the block level. True to the address, to the corner, to the corner, to the frequency. Liquor store lights, midnight, still running, still here.
Yeah, I grew up knowing liquor store lights as the compass of the late night. The orange telling you which corner still had life and which you're taking flight. Into the quiet that comes after 2 a.m. when even the DMV gets tired. But midnight is prime time and the block is fully wired. With the go-go percussion and the conversations in the warm bass line of people living their particular version of the mid-Atlantic design of a life, the neighborhood in the corner and the orange light overhead that's been there through every generation, through the living and the dead. But the block's particular history that the smooth storytelling vocal carries. Not for the outside audience, for the people who grew up in the varieties of this specific geography and know the liquor store lights as a landmark. The mid-Atlantic soul at midnight, the block alive after dark. Liquor store lights, the landmark of the block's particular geography. Liquor store lights, the smooth vocal carrying the biography of the corn and the orange and the go-go percussion confirming. Liquor store, the mid-Atlantic soul at midnight affirming. The blocks still alive. Liquor store lights, the orange, the corner, the bass still running. Midnight still Georgia Avenue, Georgia Avenue, Branch Avenue, Axon Hill, Alexandria. The same orange, the same go-go, same baseline, the same block, different addresses, same frequency. Liquor store lights, the DMV at the block level, still running. Midnight, still here, always, 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 always. Liquor store lights, the orange, midnight, still running. Liquor store lights, the block, the go, the bass, still here, always. This.
Yeah. I don't walk in the rooms announcing myself because the room adjusts on its own. The warm synth pad underneath the bass confirms the frequency I've grown into over the course of being a woman in the city that made me. Both the smoothness and the certainty in the way I navigate the daily. Evidence of who I am without requiring the external confirmation. The DMV feminine energy is a specific kind of self-possession that the nation hasn't fully caught up to. The Maya frequency, the quiet authority of a woman who knows the mid-Atlantic soul is in her bones, and her priority is not the performance of the knowing, but the living of it at full size. The snap percussion crisp beneath the bass forward production says no compromise on the frequency, no editing for the comfort of the room that's adjusting to accommodate the full version. That's the DMV woman, self-trusting trophy, not the object, the self-possessed trophy. The room adjusting because the frequency demands it. Trophy. The room adjusts without the announcement required. Trophy. The warmth and pad in the bass forward the desire. Frequency of a woman who doesn't dim for anyone's comfort level. Trophy. The feminine soul, operating on the right decibel of self-possession. Without announcement, trophy, the room adjusted already. The women who came before me in this geography set the standard for what it looks like to carry the mid-Atlantic soul and not be bothered by the rooms that prefer the more convenient version of the presence. The smooth and the certain is not arrogance, it's the essence of what happens when a woman knows a frequency well enough to walk through the city at night without adjusting for the rough edges of spaces that weren't built for her full size. Originally, the warm synth pad and the bass forward production holds her bodily in the right acoustic environment for the self-possessed delivery of simply being fully herself in every room. That's the victory that the DMV feminine energy represents in the city after dark. The snap percussion crisp and certain, the bass forward, the march trophy, the victory of the full-size woman in the late night room trophy, the warm synth pad holding her in the right acoustic bloom of the self-possession that the mid-Atlantic geography confirmed. Trophy, the frequency she carries, the room already informed before she announced, because she didn't. Trophy, the frequency, the room already knew. The Maya frequency, the quiet authority, the women before setting the standard, the full size without announcement, the warm synth pad, the bass forward, the snap percussion certain, the room adjusted before she spoke. Trophy, the frequency speaks first, always. Trophy, 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 the room adjusted. Trophy, the frequency. Trophy, full size. Trophy, the DMV feminine, self-possessed, always. Trophy.
I've been driving through the wasteland of this particular ending, not looking for an exit, just trying to understand the bending of what I thought was straight, the road I thought was going somewhere. Not doing the thing where the road just becomes the road into somewhere. Turns out to been the being on the road all along. The reverb-drenched guitar loop underneath is the right kind of wrong. That late night introspection needs not resolution, just the texture of thinking in the dark at 7 BPM in the DMV lecture of a city that holds you while you figure out the shape of what you lost. The slow deep bass doesn't rush the inventory or the cost of the ending. It just keeps the time at the right pace. For someone who's doing the honest accounting of the empty space. Wasteland, the ending, doing what endings do. Wasteland, the reverb guitar and the slow bass holding the accounting. Wasteland, the honest accounting of the empty space at 77. Wasteland, the reverb guitar loop in the belly, their heaven of the hi-hat keeping the slowest time while the feeling processes. Wasteland, the DMV at its most introspective, the losses acknowledged without performance. Wasteland, the slow bass, the reverb, the accounting done. The DMV taught me to carry things without broadcasting the carrying.
So the wasteland is interior, the outside posture is still varying between composed and moving forward, because that's the mid-Atlantic way. You process in private and you show the forward move in the day. But the night is where the wasteland gets its honest accounting done. The reverb guitar looping over the slow bass at 4 a.m. begun. This particular word, the replaying of the specific moments that contain the evidence. The daylight version always postponed into later, into eventually, into the morning's better logic. The night at 7 BPM has no better logic, just the honest inventory of the ending that the haunting falsetto carries through the reverb and the slow bass and the DMV that buries Wasteland. The honest inventory in the 4 a.m. production. Wasteland. The haunting falsetto over the slow bass introduction of the next phase, which begins with the accounting being done. Wasteland. The reverb guitar loop cycling through until the sun makes better logic available again. Wasteland. The accounting done. The next phase beginning. The reverb guitar looping, the slow bass keeping time. The haunting falsetto over everything. The wasteland, not permanent, just honest accounting done. The next phase, somewhere in the reverb, somewhere after the slow bass, still moving forward. Eventually, wasteland, temporary, the bass still moving. Wasteland, temporary, the bass still moving. Wasteland, wasteland, the reverb guitar. Wasteland, the slow bass. Wasteland, the accounting done. Wasteland, the next phase coming. Eventually, wasteland, wasteland, wasteland.
Ivy City on a warm evening has a particular quality that other neighborhoods don't have in the same configuration. The specific way the light would fall on the block when we were walking back from the place on Florida. And you were talking about something I've since forgotten, but the horror of the evening is still exactly in my body at the bass melody level. The DMV at its most romantic is specific, not the general. Love song setting, but the Ivy City evening, the Florida Avenue block. The particular light on that specific neighborhood, the clock reading whatever time it was when the city felt like it was confirming that this was the right person in the right geography. The affirming of the feeling by the neighborhood itself. That's the DMV romance, specific to the address, to the evening, to the circumstance. Ivy City, the neighborhood confirming the feeling. Ivy City, the bass melody and the specific light. Ivy City, a Florida Avenue evening at exactly the right pace. Ivy City, the warm bass melody in the specific time and place. Ivy City, the DMV romance requires the geographic specificity. Ivy City, the neighborhood itself was the third party to the city of whatever this was. Ivy City, the light, the block, the bass melody confirming. Ivy City, Ivy City, Ivy City. I want to specific address of the feeling. Because feelings without addresses fade into the general, and the general's less revealing of what actually happened. It was Ivy City, it was Florida Avenue. It was the particular light on that particular block, and the residue of that particular evening lives in the bass melody of this production. Because the DMV so requires the geographic introduction to be present in the romantic. The love song that doesn't know its street is less true than the one that puts you on the block and lets you feel the beat of the specific neighborhood, confirming what you're feeling simultaneously. The go-go reference light underneath says this is the DMV's way of love, specific, geographically grounded. The neighborhood a witness in the bass melody, in the particular evening's fitness. The neighborhood is witness to the specific feeling. The go-go reference light in the bass melody revealing the address of the love that makes it real instead of general. Ivy City, the DMV romantic at its most particular and most true. Ivy City, the address, the evening, the bass melody confirmed. Florida Avenue, the specific light, the particular block, the go reference underneath. The neighborhood witnessing the feeling, geographic and true. Ivy City, the address of the love the DMV requires is specific always. Ivy City, Ivy City, Ivy City, the bass melody. Ivy City, Ivy City, the specific light. Ivy City, the neighborhood confirming. Ivy City, the address, the feeling, true. I've been through the district in the candlelit room, in the easy money block. I've been through the soft girl era in the Nocturnal, in the Uptown unlock of the city at full capacity. I've been through the hotel lobby cool, in the Sunday AM tender, in the liquor store lights, the block school. Oh, the go-go percussion in the mid-Atlantic soul at street level. I've been the trophy in the room, in the wasteland at the low decibel. I've been pissed tension, and I've been in Ivy City with the specific light. And all of it, every frequency of this playlist and every night that the district entertains and confirms, all of it is home to me. The full production bringing everything together is the DMV. At the closing of the thing that started with the city doing its first statement. At the first baseline of the first track, home is the through statement. Every frequency of the district confirms home. The through statement of the whole night. Home, the bass forward and the go-go undercurrent and the road. Home, full production bringing together all the districts go. The candlelit, the block, the hotel lobby, the Sunday morning. The wasteland process, the Ivy City light, the knowing. All of it, the closing soul at 88 BPM brings all the elements back into alignment. The falsetto building to the full voice.
voice is the natural assignment of a playlist that went from the whisper to the haunting, to the confident, to the joyful, to the tender, to the story tending the promise. Through line being the mid-Atlantic soul in its full range of expression is the home that the district offers to anyone with the impression they've been made by this specific geography and its frequency. Go undercurrent in the full production confirms the legacy. Everyone who made this sound before the current generation, and confirms the current generation's place in the continuation of the through statement. The DMV is home, and home is this sound. The full production at the close, the bass, the rose, the city found. Home, the full range from whisper to full power is the range of home. Home, the go-go, the rose, the bass forward of it is home. The legacy's confirmed and the current generation is seen. The through statement of the district, this is what we've achieved. Having made the frequency, the full production, the district, home, the district, the candlelit room, the easy money block, the soft girl L, the Uptown, the hotel lobby, the Sunday morning, the liquor store lights, the trophies, the Wasteland, Ivy City, and home, all of it, home, the mid-Atlantic soul, home, soul range, the go-go, the rose, the bass forward, the full voice, home, this is home. Full production, the go-go, the rose, the bass fall, the diss statement, always home, the DMV, still home.